Hey guys, it's Melanie. So many of you did end up requesting that I do a tutorial with the brand new Viseart Paris A Love Letter palette, this guy right here. I received this from Viseart, I think it was like the week before last. So I have had a chance to play with this for a little while now and have come up with some really great neutral looks. However, there are two kind of really fun, bright colors in this palette, and they are the shades Amour, which is a light lilac with a satin metallic finish, and Blooming, which is a crisp leaf green with a satin metallic finish. So I have the little PR card here, so I'm just reading the descriptions from there. The two shades in the palette are located right next to each other. So here is Amour and then here is Blooming. So I don't know if you'll really be able to tell on camera the pairing on this eye right here. I just film with a Coolpix like point and shoot camera, so I don't have fancy camera equipment. I do have a nicer camera that I'm still trying to learn how to use, but it's proving a little tough for my technology challenged self. I've tried a few times and I'm struggling. So I'll try to see if I can get a better picture that I can post over on Instagram for you guys, or see if I can maybe take something with my iPhone that I can pop in at the end of the video. But basically what I wanted was a really kind of light, springy pastel look. You guys don't ever see me in crazy eye looks because they're just not my thing. I'm 42, I'm a mom, I'm kind of busy. I don't really have a ton of time to just sit and play with makeup. I certainly take my time to do my makeup every morning, but I figured out a system where I can kind of do it quickly. And I usually just go with very neutral, slightly cool toned, easy mauve-y or plummy eye looks. That's kind of my go-to. That's what you guys normally see. So, but I figured it might be kind of fun to do something just a little bit more colorful, but still within the range of acceptable for my tastes. So we're going with a pastel version. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to create this look in a much more intense manner and really get like the full effect of the Blooming and the Amour, I would suggest picking up the Esom mixing medium. That is what is recommended by Viseart to use for their shadows to help build intensity. Always be very careful with any mixing medium to not use too much, because if you do, you can create hard pan. I don't have the mixing medium myself because I don't really feel like I would reach for it all that frequently. Again, my eye looks are usually very neutral, very natural, so I don't like a lot of intensity, but if you do, that would be a way to get a little bit more oomph or color impact or shimmer and shine out of this particular look. So this eye, clearly very bare. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll tell you guys the names of the shades as I'm using them, and I'll try to also remember to point them out in the palette here. So I am starting with, where's my fluffy brush? Oh, I put it away. I thought I had pulled out all of my brushes here. So I do use an eye primer. I highly suggest using an eye primer with any eyeshadow. I just find for me, because I have really oily eyelids, it's kind of a must. But I think it also really does help to improve the overall wear and just intensity of the eyeshadows when you use an eye primer. Right now I'm kind of in love with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eye primer. This is fantastic. It comes in this like wand format. Works great. Love it. Keeps the oil at bay all day and really does help to extend the wear of my eyeshadow. By the way, if you're wondering what is on the rest of my face in terms of like blush, lips, all the other things, please check out that description box. I will list everything there and I will also link it for you. That description box is always a plethora of information. I do spend quite a bit of time filling that out. So make sure that you check there. I get a lot of questions on videos about where to find things, and I'm always responding. Please open the description box. Okay, we're going to start with the shade Letterbox, which is this kind of neutral, peachy skin tone shade right here. And I'm just using a fluffy brush that I've had from Sonia Kashuk for, well, longer than my daughter has been alive. So this is probably 10 or 12 years old. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this without coming out of frame. We'll see how I do. Okay. I did bring a hair tie and I don't know where it went. So bear with me. All right, you are gonna have some fallout with this. So have a fluffy brush available if you are a powder foundation girl like me, or if you are a liquid foundation person. I would suggest probably doing your foundation last. I'm sure you have a system if you use liquid foundation. For me, however, I just get to do like a quick sweep after everything's done, and it just takes everything away because my face isn't sticky from a liquid on my face. All right, so I'm basically using this Love Letter, right? No, Letterbox, sorry. Love Letter is the name of the palette. I'm using this to set my primer and just kind of even out the skin tone on my lid and in this general eye area. Next, I'm just going to take a blending brush. Any blending brush you have will do. And I'm going to mix the shades Cupid and Arrow. So Cupid is this peachy shade, and Arrow is this kind of, well, let's see what they call it. A neutral buff brown with a matte finish. There we go. And Cupid is described as a French kissed coral pink, ooh, with a matte finish. So I'm literally going between these two and just loading up my brush. And then what I'm going to do, and I do this all the time, is I tap the shadow. I probably shouldn't do that on the mirror, huh? I tap the shadow into the brush so that the shadow falls between the bristles and I don't get that like splat of like color deposit right away. Those of you that have incorporated this particular trick have said it's been really helpful, so I'm glad. But yeah, it's just a really easy thing that you can do to help with a little bit of that fallout. Normally I just do this on the table in front of me. I always have shadow and powder everywhere, and at the end of each week I do like a wipe down with an alcohol wipe, and it is covered in all sorts of fun colors. So I'm going to start by just blending this into my crease. I'm focusing the majority of the color on the outer part of my crease here. And then once I get most of the color deposited, I bring what's left into the inner corner. When I get into my inner corner area, because of my eye shape, I like to follow more of the crease. But on the outer corner, I really like to go above the crease. So bring that shadow up a little further because it creates a slight, almost cat eye effect where it lifts the outer corners of my eyes a little bit. I think that looks flattering on my eye shape. So that's what works for me. Please use whatever technique you have. I'm just showing you guys basically the colors that I'm combining. Use the techniques that work for your particular eye shape. So I'm just kind of windshield wiper motioning this into the old crease. This is really not much of a crease shade, but it's just meant to provide like a little bit of contrast. Just gonna put a little bit more on. And again, focusing in that crease. Just building that up really, really lightly. Okay, next, you have a couple options. You can certainly use a brush. This is just a flat, classic shader brush, but you can also use your fingers. I think you're gonna get a little bit more intensity if you use your fingers. And if you use a brush with the mixing medium, you're gonna get the most intensity. So over here, I started using the brush and it was a little bit too light to really be able to see on camera. It looked great in real life, but I took a picture of this eye and it was really, really light and not really detectable in the picture. So what I'm gonna do is actually use my pinky finger, which is clean. Always make sure you have clean fingers if you're gonna be sticking your fingers in your palettes. And I'm gonna start with the shade Amour, which is the shimmery purple. And that is going on the inner half of just my lid. And I'm just kind of pressing it into the lid area. Slight little swipes as well. Sorry, this is not, oh God, yeah, my eyes are not good enough for that, sorry. I feel like you see what I'm kind of doing here. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit more. I have noticed with this particular palette, the fallout is a little bit more than what I'm used to with my Viseart shadows. It's not bad, and it's certainly not as bad as a lot of my like other eyeshadows that I really also love. But if you don't like fallout at all, I'm not sure this is gonna be the best palette. The shimmers are the ones that tend to have a little bit more of the fallout. The mattes are fantastic as always, but I'm not used to my Viseart shadows having quite this much fallout with the shimmer shades. Okay, now I just wiped my finger on a towel in front of me and I'm gonna go in the shade Blooming, which is the green, and I'm gonna pick that up. And that is going on the outer half of my lid. So I'm basically doing like a 50-50 where there's like purple here, green here. And then we're gonna kind of blend these into each other in the middle. Sorry, this is probably not helping you. I really do actually like this green. It's really fun. I don't think this is a look that I would do super frequently because again, I am the neutral eyeshadow girl, but I think this is kind of fun. It's a sunny day today, so seems springy and appropriate. So next I'm gonna take a pencil brush and I'm gonna go in a little bit of that Blooming shade, the green shade, and I'm actually gonna run that along my lower lash line. This is just a really light hint of green. It's not coming off on camera, but it's something that you would notice in person. And you don't have to do this part if you don't like the green on your lash line, but I think it just kind of adds like a fun little pop. You could also mirror by doing the purple on the like inner lower half as well, but I just went green the whole way. Again, the mixing medium would be a great way to intensify this if you wanted something more substantial. Okay, I'm gonna take my fluffy brush and I'm just gonna brush away this fallout that I have so far. I'm gonna find my blending brush and just kind of make sure that everything is nicely blended. Making sure that the shimmer doesn't go up into my crease too far. I really want that shimmer concentrated on the lid. Just clean that up. I think I need a little bit more of the purple in the inner corner though. Just gonna pop a little more in there. Okay, next I'm gonna take did I put it away? No, it's here. I know it's here. There it is. This is actually a brow lining brush, but I use it to do my eyeliner. I like powder eyeliner, and I'm just gonna use my good old standby, which is it's actually the Brow Duo from Anastasia in the shade Granite. However, this did not work for my brows, so I didn't want to return it. I figured I could figure out some other way to use it. I like to use this shade as a crease shade sometimes, and this one, you can see the pan there. I use that as my liner pretty much almost every single day. It is a really dark kind of charcoal gray. Works great as a liner. Way too dark for my brows. By the way, lots of questions about my brows all the time. These are tattooed on my face essentially, you guys. This is micro shading. I do have kind of like a full, it's like a powder ombre type situation. I do cover it with SPF every single day, so I run a little bit of my beloved, now discontinued, sorry, Tarte Amazonian Clay Volumizing Brow Powder in the shade Gray. I don't know why they ever discontinued this color. That was really not a smart idea, because I think this was one of the best shades of gray for the brows that I have ever found. A lot of brow shades that are gray are usually always too dark, or they're way too light. Like there's just nothing in between. So anyway, this works great, and I'm lucky that I have the brow micro shading to begin with, so I don't really have to like use too much of that. I have a number of backups that I ordered before they discontinued it. So I'm set, but I'm sorry that you can't get it anymore. I really don't have an alternative either. So you'll have to do what I did, was just hunt around, test lots of different things. Okay, so this liner is going right along my lash line. Just on the top. I never line my lower lash line really, unless I am going for like something crazy dramatic, like on Halloween. And again, I'm getting some fallout from this, but I'm just able to brush it away. Normally I show you guys on this side. I thought I would try this one, but I don't think this is working the best. Sorry, I'll try to change my angle here. I think I need to stick with the other eye. Oh yeah, this is, sorry, I have to do it my way. Otherwise, I'm gonna goof this. I'm really just kind of pressing it into the actual lash line. I don't like a harsh, like, you know, that's why I don't use a liquid, or I don't even use a pencil anymore. The powder really does give a softer look, so that is definitely my preference. Makeup is so personal though. You really have to do what works for you. Okay, yeah, that's mostly even. So again, I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush and I'm gonna brush away my excess. I always get fallout that kind of hits me on the sides of the nose here. So always make sure if you're using a powder liner that you check that, because yeah, it will collect there. I don't know why this, I'm using the new Bite Beauty Yay Sayer Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Guava Puff. I love the color. That's all that I have on my lips. But it's like, it's gumming up on me today, and I don't know why. It's really kind of bugging me. I did exfoliate my lips this morning, so I'm not sure why it's doing that, but didn't do that yesterday. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara. I won't make you guys watch that, but I will let you know that I am using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume and the CoverGirl Flourish by Lash Blast. This is kind of a nice natural voluminous lash look for me, and that's what I'm going for here. So I'm gonna put these on and then come back and show you guys the finished product. All right, here we are. All finished. Popped some mascara on those lashes, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's a very kind of low-key, colorful look that I'm comfortable with. This is something I would totally sport just going to the grocery store. But yeah, I really do like how this turned out. I think the bright kind of citrusy green is actually a good match for my green eyes. Typically I don't do a lot of green shadows. I tend to gravitate a little bit more towards purples if I am gonna do a color choice. But yeah, I like this. Again, it's very natural. Amp it up with that mixing medium if you're looking for a little bit more oomph from this. If you want to maybe add just a little bit more in the crease in terms of the combination of the Cupid and the arrow together, I think that would be great. But also if you took a little bit of the Chocolatier, which is this, they call it a neutral deep brown. It's also a matte finish. It's right here. That would be another way to intensify the crease a little bit and maybe make this a little bit more dramatic and appropriate for maybe like a date night or something like that. I don't know how many date nights are happening right now, but maybe this summer. So anyway, you guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this or that it was helpful and that it maybe gave you some inspiration. You may well have some of these shades in some of your other palettes, so you don't necessarily have to pick up the Paris Love Letter from Viseart. But I will tell you that these shadows are really fun to work with. Again, a little bit more fallout than what I'm used to with the Viseart shimmers from these two shades in particular. But the matte shades are gorgeous. And the other shimmers that I've tried in here, by the way, so the Beloved and the Poem. So actually this shade right here and this one right here, and then also this one right here. Those have been fantastic. Really, really easy to work with. So anyway, you guys, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo!